Is milk actually good for you as an adult, or have you just never questioned it? Your body has a hidden shut-off switch for milk. It was supposed to flip off the moment you stopped being a baby. But here you are, years later, still pouring milk into your coffee, still hearing that it does a body good without anyone explaining whose body that really means. The real answer is stranger than a slogan. It comes down to one gene, one accidental change, and a piece of luck that only some humans on Earth ever got. Here's a simple fact. Every mammal makes milk. A cow makes milk for her calf. A goat makes milk for her kid. A human makes milk for her baby. That's it. That's the whole point of milk. It's baby food made by one body for a very young body. Milk carries a special sugar called lactose. To use that sugar, a baby's body makes something called lactase. Lactase's job is easy to picture. It breaks lactose into two smaller pieces the body can actually use. Without lactase, milk sugar just sits in your gut. It doesn't get used, it just causes trouble. Now, here's the twist most people never hear. In almost every mammal on Earth, lactase is supposed to shut off. Not slow down, shut off completely. It happens right after a baby stops nursing and starts eating regular food. Dogs lose it, cats lose it, wild animals lose it, and for most of human history, humans lost it too. So why can you, a grown adult, drink a glass of milk today without a problem? The story starts about 10,000 years ago. In a few specific places on Earth, small groups of people started keeping cows, goats, and sheep close to home. For the first time ever, milk wasn't just something you had as a baby and then lost forever. It was right there, every single day from animals people had learned to raise. And in a small number of these people, something odd happened in their DNA. A tiny mutation. It didn't create some brand new power, it just broke the off switch. So instead of shutting down after babyhood, their lactase just kept working for life. A scientist named Dallas Swallow at University College London spent years studying exactly how this spread. What she found was surprising. This mutation wasn't just useful, it was a huge advantage. In hard times like famine or sickness, anyone who could still drink milk as an adult suddenly had extra food nobody else could touch. Extra calories, extra protein, even extra water in places where clean water was hard to find. Evolution noticed fast. A study led by scientist Todd Bersaglieri, working with a team at Harvard, found that this milk gene spread through European populations faster than almost any other gene ever studied. And here's where it gets even more interesting. This same change didn't happen just once. It happened several separate times in different parts of the world in people who had never met each other. A scientist named Sarah Tishkoff at University of Pennsylvania studied cattle herding groups in Kenya and Tanzania. She found completely different DNA changes, different mutation, same result, adults who could drink milk just fine. Scientists call this convergent evolution, different groups of people facing the same problem, landing on the same solution through totally different paths. It's strong proof that this ability isn't something every human is born with. It's something that happened to a few lucky groups in a few specific places for very clear reasons. So what does this mean for everyone else? It means most adults on Earth today never got that mutation. Their lactase still shuts off, right on schedule, just like every other mammal. Around 65% of adults worldwide have trouble fully digesting milk. In parts of East Asia, that number is over 90%. This isn't a disease, it isn't something broken, it's simply the normal setting for a grown mammal. The truly unusual person, biologically speaking, is anyone who can drink a full glass of milk with zero discomfort. That's the rare case. That's the mutation talking. Think about what life was like before this mutation showed up. For almost all of human history, once a baby was weaned, milk was gone for good. No adult expected to drink it again. No one built recipes around it, because for most people, their bodies simply couldn't handle it. So entire cultures found a clever workaround: cheese, yogurt, fermented milk. In all of these, bacteria break down the milk sugar before it ever reaches your gut. People figured out how to eat dairy long before their bodies could handle raw milk, just by letting tiny microbes do the digesting first. This helps explain why the mutation spread so fast once it appeared. It wasn't competing against nothing. Dairy was already valuable. People were already working hard to ferment it. So anyone who could skip that whole process and just drink milk straight from the animal had a real edge. Less work, less waiting, less risk of it going bad. More food, fast, especially when times were tough. It also helps to picture how different life would look without any of this. Imagine a world where every single person lost the ability to digest milk right after childhood, no exceptions. In that world, a glass of milk would just be an odd, uncomfortable drink for adults, the same way it would be strange for you to try eating a bowl of raw grass. Nobody would think twice about skipping it. That world isn't some made-up scenario. That world is simply most of human history, and it's still true for the majority of adults alive on Earth right now. The version of the world where milk feels normal for grown-ups is actually the unusual one. Which brings us to the real question. Just because your body can handle milk as an adult, does that mean it's actually good for you? Here's where the science gets more careful than most headlines let on. Being able to digest milk only tells you it won't upset your stomach. It says nothing about whether it's the best thing for your body long-term. Cow's milk was built by evolution for one job only, growing a calf from about 90 pounds at birth to hundreds of pounds within a single year. It's packed with growth signals, concentrated protein, and nutrients aimed at fast, early life growth. You, as an adult, are not trying to double your body weight in 12 months. That instruction wasn't written for you. You just so happen to be one of the few people who can read it without any side effects. So, does that make milk bad for you? Not exactly. Scientists who study adult milk drinking have found a mixed picture, not a simple yes or no. On one side, milk really does offer good nutrition: calcium for strong bones, protein your muscles can use, vitamin D in the fortified kind, which a lot of adults are actually low on. For people from cultures with a long history of dairy farming, drinking milk in normal amounts fits comfortably into a healthy diet. Large nutrition studies haven't found strong proof that regular milk drinking harms healthy adults. On the other side, some researchers raise fair concerns. A few studies link very high milk intake to certain health issues, though the evidence isn't consistent, and it's often hard to separate milk from the rest of someone's diet. There are also real questions about natural hormones in modern milk, since dairy cows are often milked while pregnant, and how that compares to what an adult body actually needs. The honest answer isn't milk is poison, and it isn't milk is essential either. Milk is a food built for baby animals of a different species. A portion of adult humans can digest it just fine, and how it affects your health depends a lot on how much you drink, where it comes from, and what it's replacing in your diet. There's also something worth knowing about how much lactase adults actually have. Even people with the mutation don't make lactase at full baby-level strength forever. It stays active, but usually at a lower level than it was in early childhood. That's part of why some people who are technically fine with milk can still feel uneasy after a huge glass, but feel totally normal with a small amount spread across the day. The gene didn't bring back babyhood. It just kept a smaller version of the system running instead of shutting it down completely. Even lactose intolerance itself isn't an all-or-nothing thing. Many people who can't handle milk can still enjoy small amounts or dairy foods like hard cheese and yogurt without any trouble at all, simply because those foods contain much less lactose than a full glass. There's a bigger lesson hiding in all of this, something that goes beyond milk. So many things that feel like a fixed, universal human trait turn out to, once you look closely, to be a regional accident, something that happened to a small group of people in one valley or one highland region thousands of years ago, and then spread because it gave them a real advantage. Milk tolerance is one of the clearest examples of this happening in real time, and scientists can still read the evidence in our DNA today. This isn't a story about all humans evolving to drink milk. It's a story about a few lucky groups stumbling on something useful and passing it down to their children. So think about what that means the next time you open your fridge and see a carton of milk. It's not really a basic food group the way fruits or vegetables are. It's a biological accident with a 10,000-year head start, sitting quietly on your shelf, mistaken for something that was always meant for you. Because it wasn't. Not originally, not for most of human history, not for most people alive today. So, is milk actually good for you as an adult? The honest answer is it depends on the adult. If your body handles it well and you drink a normal amount as part of a varied diet, the evidence doesn't point to harm, and it can genuinely give you useful nutrients. What it isn't is something your body was ever specifically built to run on past babyhood. It's a food you were never quite meant to keep drinking, that a strange, rare mutation in your ancestors' DNA rewired the rules just enough to let you.